So in this video now we are going to talk about the main features of positivity and naturalistic approaches to sociological thinking and theorizing. So what is sociological thinking and what is theorizing? First we'll talk about this term so that it will be very easy for you to understand the features. So first we'll see in the difference between manner that what is sociological thinking and what is sociological theorizing. So first the sociological thinking, it is a way of seeing the social world that involves a questioning taken from a granted assumptions, understanding human behavior in social context, and recognizing the influence of social structures, culture, and power. So, in the name itself, we can understand a bit that it is something which you have to think about it related to the social world. It's related to some thinking. So, it is a way of seeing. It means your way of perspective or how you are seeing this world. Okay, so that is what it is called as a social thinking. Okay, now what it involves under it, it involves the questions, okay, that is taken from granted assumptions. For example, now one boy and a girl is walking on the street. So at that point, what your perspective is, that is it they are in a some brother and sister bond, or they are in a relationships, or they are a husband wife, or they are just friends. It's about the perspective that how you are seeing or how you are assuming that situations, and then understanding the human behavior in a social context, how they both are behaving in the society. On that context also, definitely you are going to see that, or you are going to make your perspective about that particular pair, and then recognizing the influence of the social structure, culture, and the power. Now what does it mean? That there will be some, now for example, that both are there, where they are walking, at which position they are. Okay, for example, they are walking in the garden. Okay, walking in the garden and going to the temple, that is two kind of different places. Now if you are going to the temple and seeing the same, you will not see in the same way as you are seeing in the garden. So it is very different way of perspective you are seeing the things. So that's why it is called as the influence of social structures, the culture. Of course you will follow the same, the culture, that what you are following and how they are. So there will be a different way of thinking. Okay, then power. So these are some things which will comes under the sociological thinking. Okay, now what is sociological theorizing? Theorizing means making some theories over some thoughts. Okay, so we'll just see the definition: the systematic formulation of concepts, prepositions, and frameworks that explain a social phenomena and relationships. The way I said, that a kind of concept you have to make, or you have to, concept means theory. Okay, so a kind of theory you have to make on some scenario, or if you have experienced something, or you are observing something which is very much prominent. Okay, and it is keep on repeating, so that we can theorize it, or we can formulate it. Okay, so we have to formulate in a systematic manner. We can't formulate like in the air, we have to do it in a systematic manner. So what the things we are going to formulate? The social phenomena, then how the society is, what are the things are going on in the society, how the relationships are making, in which circumstances it's making. So these all things will come under the sociological theorizing. Now there is one more point, that it converts the sociological thinking into structured explanation, that what you are thinking, it will get structured into a formulation form or in a theory form. Okay, so it is a conversion of the sociological thinking into a structured explanation. Now in the sociological thinking, if you'll see, focus on how to view the society, developing a sociological perspective or imagination, that how you are going to see the society, about the development or about the society, that how it is. And in the theorizing, focuses on how to explain society, creating a testable and conceptual model, that whatever you are seeing in that society, how you are going to make it as a in a conceptual model, or how you are going to test it again. Okay, now example, you can read it here. Now what is positivity and what is naturalistic, the two terms. First we'll see what is positivity. So positive, that means something based on a facts rather than imagination. It's not about what you are imagining and what your gut feeling is. It's about what the facts are going on and what is there in the reality. or in the real life situation. That's why in this it is, that's why called as a positive. That term is used here for the real things and not for the imaginary things. And something which is verifiable by the observation and experience, and it should be verified by the observation. If you are observing again and again, the same thing is there. If you are experiencing that same things, that same thing is there. It is not keep on changing. Okay. And something useful and certain, but it should be useful. It should not be like useless things. And not doubtful or theoretical. It should not be only theoretical, there should be some practical base also. Okay, so that is a positivity. So what is positivity? Positivity is something which is not on the basis of imagination or on any imaginary things. It's truly focused on the facts, on the real life situations and the reality. That is positivity. When Comte called his approach positivism, he meant that sociology should focus only on the positive knowledge. Now you know the Auguste Comte. Who is he? Just comment me down that who is he. Okay. So when Auguste Comte called his approach positivism, why the Comte has called the approach positivism? Because according to him, the positivism will focus on a positive knowledge. Okay, and that knowledge will be derived from a scientific evidence. There will be some scientific evidence, over that only the knowledge will be created. Okay, and not just a scientific evidence, there will be some observations also. Okay, but it should not be on the religious belief or some any speculations. Okay, so that is what he defined it as a positivism. Okay, the Comte defined a positivism that the sociology should focus only on a positive knowledge, that is knowledge derived from scientific evidence and empirical observation, not from the religious belief or physiological speculations. Okay, this is by the Comte. Now the next point is naturalistic and naturalism. What is naturalistic and naturalism? So based on the natural world or explained through a natural laws rather than through a supernatural or a spiritual causes. It means something which is realistic or something which is naturalistic and which is existing in this world, not on the supernatural power or some spiritual cause. We can't think about that things. We have to see the natural world. We have to see that what are the things which is going on surrounding it, and we don't have to consider some of the supernatural powers and spiritual thinking. Okay, that is called as a naturalism or naturalistic. Now the naturalistic approach means society and human behavior are studied like a natural phenomena. Now of course in this society the human behavior, how the human is behaving, that is going to study in the naturalistic approach. Okay, and that is called as a natural phenomena. So these are some terms. Now we will see the main features of positive approach to sociological thinking and theorizing. First we are going to see about the positive approach, then in the next slides we will see about the naturalistic approach. For the positive approach, first is the scientific and empirical approach. The second is the objectivity and value neutrality. So first, what is scientific and empirical approach? That positivism insists that sociology should be based on observable facts and empirical evidences. We have already seen that whatever the base we are making in the sociology, it should be based on the observable facts, that whatever facts are going on, it should be truth and the evidence should be there. Okay, and knowledge must come from a systematic observation, measurement and experimentation rather than a speculation or the intuitions. It's not about the data, whatever the evidences you are making, it will be on the intuitions. You don't have to work at that point on the emotional basis or on the intuitional basis or on the gut feeling basis. It is not on that. It is purely on the knowledge what you are getting by a systematic observation and by the measurements of everything and by the experimentation. Okay, that's where the first point is the scientific and the empirical approach. Now the objectivity and the value neutrality. Okay, so what is objectivity and value neutrality? So researchers must remain neutral, unbiased and objective. As this one is very clear sentence that whatever the researcher is, that researcher should not be biased. If the researcher is biased, it means the study is not good. Okay, so the whatever researcher is, he should be neutral, he should be unbiased, and he should be objective. There should be some objective that he is working for. It is not like that he will work in the air or he will work without any goals and aims. Now, personal beliefs or emotions should not influence the interruption of the social facts. Okay, the emotional influence should not be there. Otherwise, if two person is standing, or if one is your sister and one is your best friend or your classmate, and you have to choose only one person to take out from the class to be with you because you are not well, so whom you will choose? You will choose your sister or you will choose the friend. Okay, so it depends on that time that you are going to make a decision on the emotional basis, or you are going to make a decision on your some other basis. Okay, the example will not fit here properly, but I just given because as you will be in that situation, you will understand. If you are a researcher, then definitely you will understand what I am saying, because if you are a researcher, at that time you are not going to choose participants on the emotional basis. You have to choose correctly, okay, without interpretation in any of the social facts. And the goal is to describe reality as it's not as it should be. Okay, and the goal will be what the reality is, it should be like that, nothing will change off. So first we have seen the scientific and empirical approach. The second is the objectivity and the neutrality approach. Okay, the next is the search for general laws of society. Now, what is general laws of society? It means positivism aims to discover general laws or patterns that govern a social behavior and similar to laws in a physics or biology. It means we have to discover some of the general laws of the society which is same as of the physics and biology. In the physics and biology, there are some laws on the human also, there will be in the biology. On some of the angles, there will be on the physics, in the physics. So there are some laws which we have to study the pattern, and we have to see when we have to search for a general laws of the society. And it assumes that human behavior follows a regular and predictable manner, and it's already assumed but not evident that the human behavior follows regular and predictable manner. So what the human behavior is, that it will be very regular and predictable manner. There are some things which is very much predictable in a human behavior. Okay, so that's why the third point is the search for the general laws of society. Now fourth is the quantitative method. It is very easy. In the name itself, it means a quantity wise you have to check. Okay, that is a quantitative methods. So what is quantitative methods? Quantitative data, statistics, measurable variables. For example, if you are seeing that 50 if you are seeing 50 students are there, and they are in the normal BMI or not, you have to check that. So what you have to measure? You have to measure the height and weight for them. So that is what the measurable things. Okay, so in the quantity means first quantitative data, second is the statistics, third is the measurable variables. Statistics means if you don't know in the research whatever the values we are getting, we have to check that how we are going to make one result. Before making a result, we have to go through some process in the statistics. Okay, now next is the determinism human behavior. It means how the human are behaving in this society. Okay, how you are going to be with the others from the external social gatherings, or from the anywhere from the out, how you are going to behave with that particular person or a group of people. So society influences the individual more than individuals influence the society. Of course, if the 5 members in your group, if you are having a friends group, 5 people are drinking, only one person is not drinking, what is going to happen? Definitely they keep on influence you, and at one point you will get influenced and you will start drinking. So that is what it is written, that society will influence the individual, but individuals can't influence the society. Okay, that is the determinism of human behavior. Now the sixth is comparison with the natural science. Okay, so why we are going to compare with the natural science? Because sociology should follow the model of natural science. Social phenomena like natural phenomena have causes and effects that can be studied systematically. Because if we are studying something, there should be some laws, and if we are making a laws, we should know how to make a law, and through which thing I have to make a base of it. So base is from the biology, but how I'm going to make more things? Okay, so that's why we are comparing with the natural sciences, and then we are making it on the basis of it. Okay, now cumulative and progressive knowledge. What is cumulative and progressive knowledge? Scientific knowledge builds over time. New findings add to or refine earlier theories. Okay, so what the cumulative and progressive knowledge is, that scientific knowledge will build over time. Okay, as the time passes, you will get the more scientific knowledge. It is not like that you are a fresher, you just now completed your BP and you are going to search the clinic. It doesn't mean you are going to get the clinic within a 2 days. Okay, so it will take some time. As you take some time, there will be a knowledge, you will get more knowledge about it, that where to go and where not to go. So new findings add to or refine earlier theories. Okay, if there is some new findings or some add-ons will be there, so there will it will be there in the theories or something in the progressive knowledge. Okay, then sociology progress as it comes more data and develops more precise theories. So sociology, what it will do? Sociology will progress. What she will progress? What the sociology will progress? It will collect the more data, and then it will give you a precise theory, and it will give you a very correct theory. Okay. Now the seventh is Now the eighth is prediction and control. So once social laws are known, they are help predict future behavior and control or guide social change. The goal is to make many more I'm so sorry. The goal is to make society more orderly and functional. Prediction and control means that how you are going to predict the things before giving a stamp over it, that yeah, this is going to happen. No, we can't say that this is going to happen. We just have to predict it. We can predict somewhat that this is going to be happen in future, or this person is going to behave like this in the future. But you can't control or you can't guide that social changes. Okay, you can't say that why you are behaving like this. You can't say that, because it is a very general loss that we can't change it. Okay, and the goal is the video. Please like it, share it, and subscribe it, and please hit the bell icon so that whenever I'm uploading my next video, you will get the notification. And thank you for watching.